All right, welcome back to part 4 of my story about my brain collapsing or herniating, for those that understand that medical term, into my spine, and medical negligence that almost killed me. When I last left you, we were sitting in Dr. Gilmer's office, and she was informing me that I needed to have surgery as soon as possible, as soon as her schedule would allow, because my brainstem was compressed completely flat. I was hanging on by a thread. So my mom and I go home, and I feel that now is an important time to mention some of the main characters of my story. I am the proud mom of 3 young men who 5 years ago were a bit younger than what they are now, but I have all teenage boys as of today, or as of now, I should say. And they play a huge part in this story because, man, if I didn't have something to fight for. So over the time between I saw Dr. Gilmer and the time that I got in for surgery, I spent a lot of time loving my kids, hugging my kids, loving on my family. So thankful for my ex-husband. I know that a lot of people probably can't say that about their ex-husbands, and I have to say that I'm one of the lucky few that I have a really great relationship with him. Not that his story is my story to share, but he's a wounded veteran and was my high school sweetheart, and unfortunately, the man that I knew as my husband never came home from war. That's another story. So I have a wonderful co-parent that I work with, and he was incredible throughout this story and lifted a lot of the burden of I really was struggling to be a parent because mentally I was not there. Physically, I was unable, especially compared to our normal, and just spiritually was crushed. So I spent a lot of time loving them every chance that I got. And my best friend, Desiree, who already chimed in once throughout the story, I went and met her the night before my surgery with my babies, and we did facials, and we swam in a pool with my kids, and I swam as best I could, I suppose. And we played games, and we had pizza, and it was amazing. And then I went home, and my kids and I played Yahtzee. This one's a bit touchy, so I'm going to try my best not to cry because I just did my makeup, and my niece is getting married today. We played Yahtzee, and their dad came to pick them up, and I kissed my kids goodbye. I wasn't sure if I'd ever see him again. What a baby. I went to bed. I kissed them goodbye. Went to bed. Woke up the next morning. Argued with my ex-boyfriend about whether or not he was going to drive me to the hospital because he was tired from work. My parents drove separately. We checked in for surgery, and my mom, good old Linda, came into the back with me for my pre-op and to get all checked in, get my IV put in, all of that good stuff. And then everyone, my family, got to say their goodbyes to me. Good old Linda said she would see me soon. They took me back, realized that I forgot to take my meds that morning, so I'm sitting there waiting in the surgery pre-op where I'm like, there's all these other people in the beds around me. Cattle call, hello. That was weird. Like, they're just going to cut out my brain, but it's fine. I'm going to hang out with all these other people that may also, not wake up from surgery. What a weird thing. Side note, medical world, that's weird for all of us involved in that moment, okay? Surprisingly, my ex-boyfriend and my best friend came back because they had one opportunity to see me before I left to go back to surgery to give me my medicine. The best hug from my best friend I've ever had in my life, I think, because she kept my soul afloat. They take me back. I see Dr. Gilmer. We high five. Let's do this thing, right? And the next thing I know, I wake up to, again, my best friend's beautiful face. She says, "Morning, babe. Glad you're here." I got to go to work. So she had to hit the road. Again, the best hug from my best friend that I have ever had. I'm so thankful that I was able to wake up to her face. She is the first thing I remember seeing. My ex-boyfriend also gave me a hug, and he also hit the road. He had apparently left during my surgery and gone back to our house that they had provided through the hospital to take a nap while my mom and dad waited in the waiting room. Unbeknownst to me, obviously, since I was a little asleep, they had struggled during surgery. She had to unravel my cerebral tonsils from my brainstem because they were twisted. Had to unravel them and then cauterize my cerebral tonsils off of my brain. So like sizzle, not the best steak. And then realized obviously that there was some damage to my brainstem during surgery because, I had a lot going on back there. They had gone out to tell my mom that there were some complications, but they were doing their best. That it was kind of at this point, they weren't really sure what was going to happen when I woke up, if I woke up. I get to see my mom. I get to see my dad. I'm in a recovery room the next. I remember after that, they had moved me from the one to my room in the ICU. And I remember just saying, like, I just feel weird, but, like, I know I just woke up from surgery. I have a picture of myself that I took a selfie, and I'm like, it's on another one of my posts, but I'll share it again. I ended up kissing my mom and dad goodbye, hugs, love. At this point, I just needed some rest. They left. They went back to the house that we were renting again, that they had offered us to stay in, or them to stay in, obviously. And I called my mom just minutes after she left, which, again, I've mentioned this in my previous stories, that when I tell my mom that something is wrong due to the fact that I died during child labor with my oldest, I called my mom just a few minutes after she left, and I was like, "Man, Mom, something's wrong." And she was like, "No, I'm sure it's just you need some rest, whatever." And I was like, "I really think something's not right. I don't know. I just really feel like something's wrong." So we hang up the phone. She calls my nurse and is like, "Listen, I think something's going on. You might want to go and check." At that point, they rushed me back to CT, and the swelling on my brain was so immense from the damage that had been done to my brainstem that they weren't sure they were going to be able to stop it. They ended up placing a line in my neck. I still have a little dot there, which feels really funky to touch, but placed a line in my neck, missed, had to come back, unstitch it, replace it, and started pumping me full of just every steroid that they could imagine to try, trying to slow down the damage that had been done. At this point, we also realized that I am completely paralyzed. I have nothing. Nada. My brain has been disconnected from my body officially. Like, it was numb. Now it's like gonzo, okay? I have a picture, again, of them trying to get me up and moving, and it didn't go well. And my mom has mentioned to me that is the moment that she was unsure that I would ever return to the person that I once was. I was gone. Mentally, emotional, spiritually, physically, I was gone. I ended up having a conversation with the doctor where she said, "I think that this is a real time of realization that we may never get you back to who you were before. Get comfortable." See you for part 5.